Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 303. With Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports rec auteur extraordinaire, and Flounder, the mechanical mangler. Look out. A play of music here, Flounder. I'm kind of in a mood for da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Yeah, what's the problem then? Well, that's what I was thinking. I think I'm going to sign up for that program. Look out. I keep threatening. 304, how's it going? Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder. Pete, how's it going there in the mountains of Macon, my friend? What's up?
Beautiful foliage today.
Foliage? I don't think I've heard that in a while. Excellent. Do you get a big leaf? Well, you don't. This is your first time up there. I assume you're going to get some pretty nice leaf turning, and you got a nice driving area up there.
It's starting. If I just go out my front porch and the whole valley's starting to turn, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you guys, when kids, did you jump in your leaf pile?
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Guarantee. In fact, some of the greatest smells and remembrances because of that are burning leaves and raking them up and putting them in a pile. Oh, we all did it. Well, absolutely. Did you do that?
Every weekend in the fall, my dad made me and my brother mow the lawn on the weekend, and in the fall, whenever we had to rake leaves, it was the Saturday, and we hated it. But
really?
every Saturday, he was like, let's go. And we'd spend the day raking the yard.
Every week on Friday, Mom would say, don't plant anything this weekend. We're going to work in the yard.
Yeah, fat chance. But it was one of the great pleasures. By the way, if you have never, they're all over. I guess everybody's seen them. Those videos of the dogs running into the leaf piles.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, I was where the people drive up, and they'll let the dog out of the house and zoom, bing, wham, right? It takes about a 30-foot leap in the air right into the middle of the big leaf. It's just hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. I saw those reels that show up on my phone, and it's just, you can't get enough of them. Anyway, it's, what is this, freaking hump day? Here we go. 305 on with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on your Wednesday hump day, and there's a million things going on. We have a lot to talk about with the business in Hamas and Israel and President's stupid face. Freaking disgrace. I watched part of sorry, I'm trying to have a new kind of a thing here, President's stupid face, again, is a total freaking embarrassment. I was putting this stuff together at home before I come in, of course, and doing the news, and I've got TV and the radio and everything else and stuff. And here, up he pops. And he's standing next to Winkin' Blinken and douchebag, our Secretary of State, who's, trying to act like he's a man instead of a weasel. And President's stupid face is next to him with his head down, not bowed like he's praying, but just his head down, and he can barely keep his neck straight. And then when he finally starts talking, is just mumbling. And, oh God, it's freaking embarrassing. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff about that. Also, reaction. Senator John Kennedy did an interview. I'll tell you about part of it. Because I like this guy from Louisiana. He's always got something clever to say, kind of reacting to stuff. Also, that hospital business, what a bunch of crap that was, fake news, and yet it led to all kinds of worldwide protests, violence, reactions, all those things at the embassies and stuff. That was because Hamas and the liberals all said that Israel bombed a hospital. It was a total lie, and we all knew it was a lie, and now it's confirmed to be a lie, and yet it made all that damage. So we'll talk about all that stuff. Also, a lot of showbiz-type stuff. I got ripped for talking about being a man with Taylor Swift. We will talk about that for a second. Also, surprise from Tommy Lee. I'm surprised he's walking around. He's surprised he's walking around. Also, a rapper. What's that?
Well, he's got 3 legs. He's got more than the rest of us.
In fact, I remember the time I was reading a story time when he went to a college campus. This was a couple of years after that video came out of Pamela Lee. And everybody was, oh, my God. And I remember he went to a college campus to a concert, and the girls were just all in line to have sex with Tommy Lee. It was unbelievable. Oh, my God. Anyway, so we go. And also, there's a rapper who's complaining about his conviction, wants a new trial, because his lawyer had his speech for the closing arguments written by AI. And so, this is a whole new thing going on. Plus, we'll have Pete with Skynet. We'll have Pete's tweets. We've got Holy Crap at Sports and a whole bunch of things. And we'll talk at first about the Natalie Holloway case. Let's see. A couple of other things. First, the phone number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We love phone calls. Also, when do you want to give away tickets? At the final hour this time, 5 o'clock? Or does it matter? We have tickets to go to this food thing.
I don't believe. I think we gave those all out. So let me check.
We only gave away 2 pair. I thought we had one a day. One pair a day. We only did it
up
twice.
until Tuesday because the event's tomorrow. Correct?
Yeah. How many? Well, how many pair do we have? It doesn't matter. Okay, so we're done with that?
Zero.
I thought we were giving away a pair every day.
Nada.
Oh, all right. Well, then everybody can go to hell. Sorry. I don't care. No, it's tasteofatlanta.com if you want to get tickets.
Yeah, look at the very top of the sheet where it says...
Attention, extra Kimmer, give away 1 pair a day.
Look under that.
Oh, Monday and Tuesday. Okay.
Dates and everything.
Oh, sorry. I
even highlighted it.
I even highlighted it. I highlighted it, and I saved it for today from yesterday. Yeah, there we go. Read the fine print.
Yes, listeners, no giveaway today.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, look, for a second, I'm going to talk about the golf tournament. I haven't done justice to this golf tournament. This is really going to be kind of fun. I hope people are signing up for this because it really could be fun. I guess we're all going to be. I guess we're having teams, and I don't know what we're going to. I don't know what our participation will be, but it's in honor of veterans. It's a Veterans Day Golf Classic. It's the first one we're doing here at the radio station, which is kind of cool at Extra 106.3. It's a Dogwood Golf Club in Austell. I've been there before years ago. A real pretty place, lots of trees and valleys and grass and stuff. It's really cool. Anyway, and the deal is, it's to salute veterans and to help the folks who are right downstairs, the Warrior Alliance, which is right downstairs in this building. They do such a great job. And Tug is a Navy man. I'm a Marine, so we need a lot of soldiers and Air Force guys and airmen to sign up, but also Space Force. I'd love it. I wonder have you ever met anybody in Space Force? Have you ever even heard of anybody who said, I know a guy who's in Space Force?
Don't think so.
I guess they have it, right? I mean, isn't that amazing?
I don't know. I told you yesterday about going up to this cafe up here in Mineral Bluff, and they have a wall where you can sign under each and every armed service.
Yeah, did you look under Space Force?
Space Force was the only one that didn't have anybody underneath it.
Well, I mean, sure, I get. I mean, yeah, wow.
It was
anyway, so this golf tournament is on Monday, November 6th. Veterans Day, of course, is 11/11. Monday, November 6th. And raising money for Warrior Allowance. And you can go to extra1063.com or 680thefan.com. So they're going to be there, too. This ought to be really cool. And I don't know how much it is, but it's worth it. And it's all, it's for, for warriors, and veterans and stuff. So we'll have a lot of fun. It'll be goofy. We will not be doing, it'll be a best of show. And we confirm that because I think they've heard my reputation for doing live broadcasts in the afternoon after a golf tournament. I didn't want to go to all that several times. And by the way, when we do two things. Last couple of times I did a golf tournament. One time Peter remind me here. Who was it that wrecked a cart, a golf cart, and ran it over a cliff or something? Turned it over. Was that guy with a crippled guy or so? I can't remember.
Me and somebody came close, but Ralph from Ben Hill
flipped one, didn't he?
Flipped one, I think so, yeah. No, actually, I think it was a listener who had won an event or something. He won a prize. Yeah. And he had been overserved.
Yes, he had.
He crashed it into the lake.
It was really pretty bad. And when I was doing my own charity golf tournament, this is our station golf tournament, but when I was doing my own many years ago, the last one charity golf tournament I did, I had the mistake. Somebody gave me a beautiful ping bag. I think it was I hate this. John and the two brothers, golf pros, John Inman and his older brother, and gave me a ping golf bag with my name on it. Said the Kimmer. Yeah. Well, after we got done with the golf tournament, I was doing some comments as an MC and giving away prizes and stuff. Somebody stole my golf bag. with all my clubs and all my stuff. Thank God I had taken out my keys and my wallet, but everything else in my golf bag had disappeared. Guy stole it. The golf course, gave me all new clubs and bags, all like that. But still, I had stuff in there. It was my personal mementos and it was heartbreaking, and it was my fault. I had it right there. I left it in the stand where all the other clubs were, and somebody just said, "Oh, this would be fun," and took it along with his to his car, and off they went. By the way, if anybody know who did it, I will give a $25,000 reward so I can kill. No, I guess that's not right. I guess I shouldn't say that. But if anybody knows who it was, I would like to get even. If anybody knows who stole my golf bag, God, this had to be like 95 or 97 or 8 or somewhere in there.
I'm sure the calls are going to start flooding in.
Yeah, if everybody, I want to find out because I want to punish him. I want to make him suffer. I want to find out where he lives, and I'm going to make his life freaking miserable. Okay, that's my pledge. All right, God, I'm late. 3:14. Okay, well, actual news stuff. Also, the new TV show Frasier was on last night. I've got a DVR. I haven't seen it, but it's on DVR, so I will watch it. Anybody see it? Was it good? Is he back?
I
Is
have
it a
not
good show?
watched it yet.
Anybody call us 404-741-1230. Okay, take a chance. 3:14 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Actual show coming up next. Look out. I got so excited. We got a couple of phone calls. I forgot to get my music list ready. But Flounder's taking care of all of it with our music expert, Madonna, with a Killer Pete and Flounder. And hold on, we got Tony and Vernon standing by. Now, what song is this, Flounder? What it was?
I think it's what's on the list. Hung Up, I believe it's called.
Hung Up, okay. 2005, Madonna admitted that she wrote a groveling letter to ABBA asking if she could sample their music on her latest single, Hung Up. The singer had to seek permission to sample Gimme, Gimme, Gimme.
I got that ready.
In fact, I've got that on my Magic Stick from when my daughter Jennifer put a whole album of ABBA on my Magic Stick. Gimme, Gimme, Gimme became only the second, and that ABBA has allowed... Oh, okay, let me start over. She needed permission to sample Gimme, 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 and became only the second act that ABBA has allowed to sample their work. The Fugees used part of the Name of the Game on their 1996 track, Rumble in the Jungle. Again, Name of the Game, another great ABBA song. I love ABBA. And again, this is, here it is. Here's Gimme, 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 right?
So this is Gimme, Gimme right here.
Yeah, Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. I love ABBA, too. And I like a few Madonna songs. I don't like this one particularly, but I like it.
And this is the Madonna. So you can see where she definitely sampled it.
And by sampling, I mean using a part of it or the beat or the, and so they're not stealing it because it's close. I mean, hell, there's only, 7 freaking notes, so, geez. Anyway, cool. Great story there, Founder. Birthdays include Bristol the Pistol Palin, 33. And here's what who's sneezing there? Is that you, Founder, or Pete? Is that you?
That was me. I thought I had my mic turned down, but I don't.
No, it's okay. Now, how you? By the way, are you better? I mean, you sound still a little nasally. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, definitely feeling better. Just
now
still coughing everything up.
Miss Veronica?
About the same.
Better? Okay, wow. So what the hell is that? Just the season?
Mine was a head cold. She got like an allergy infection. Well, it's the head cold's going around.
Yeah. Well, again, in the fall, people, I did it my whole life, and I still do it at this time of year. Sorry, Bristol the Pistol Palin. Here's what Flounder Sky writes. 33. She will punch a man repeatedly in the face if she has to. Her son Tripp was eliminated on the first week of Dancing with the Stars Juniors. Bristol came in 3rd place on Dancing with the Stars in 2010, made it to the 4th week when she danced for the All-Stars in 2012. Bristol Palin, of course, is Governor, Palin's daughter. The daughter
Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin. God, I forgot her name. I ran for vice president with the Arizona governor.
Remember the debate she wrote on her hand?
Yeah, they caught her with them notes on her hand during the podium. My God. Anyway, her daughter, 33. She married the Medal of Honor recipient, Marine, and didn't she? What was the punching? Didn't she? She did beat the crap out of her. I forgot what the story was though. I should have looked it up because, of course, I didn't know it until I got here with this one. Anyway, she's 33. Bristol Pistol. And let's see. America bought, speaking of Alaska, Governor Sarah Palin, and on this day in 1867, America bought Alaska for $7 million. Came out to 2 cents an acre. Yeah, there you are. All right, anyway, by the way, Pete, I've got about 9 sports things, a history note, and it's very exciting. I bet you're thrilled with me to have all this stuff, history notes you can talk about today. Anyway, 3:20. Okay, well, let's get some phone stuff, and then we're going to update the Natalie Holloway story. Oh, what a horrible story when you hear what he did and what he said and what's going on. Also, the whole Hamas thing, and like Barney freaking Fife is our president over there. Oh, I got my bullet. I'll get my bullet, Ange. Hey, Ange, I'm going to get my bullet out of my pocket. First, to the phones. It's Tony. Tony, you're on the radio with the Killer Pete and Flounder, man. What's going on?
Hello,
hello. What's up, man?
One of your original first black listeners.
Oh, excellent. Outstanding.
Hey, I want to tell you, I know what happened to the clubs, man. It was me, Ralph from Ben Hill, and Dale from Southwest Indiana. We took them and sold them.
I remember when Ralph from Ben Hill, Pete, got pulled over in the news car or stolen. Did he steal one of our news cars or something?
No, he's waving a gun around.
Yeah, that's what it was. He got arrested in our news car with Oh my God.
Well, what he did do was he did take the van from the old station and moved with it his personal belongings.
I knew it was something. I think they thought it was stolen or anything.
Yeah.
Oh man! By the way, let me just say, Ralph from Ben Hill was one of the most creative and wildly talented, naturally talented. He wasn't a professional broadcaster. He was just a guy. But man, he had an act. And if he had been able to take care of himself, if he had like a manager to slap him around once in a while, he should have been a national star. He should have been syndicated. I mean, he really had a gift, but he was a freaking nut for half the time. And I forget. Didn't he have like a brain surgery or something? Or for what happened to Ralph from Ben Hill? Do you know?
A stroke or something.
Yeah, wasn't it? Tony, do you know?
Yeah, I think he had something to do with like an aneurysm or something with his brain. I do recall he got in trouble too for playing "Burn Baby Burn" when the Rodney King riots.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, that was a little out there at the time. Oh, mercy.
Right.
Hey, Tony, thanks for the memories, man. You have a great day. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. I appreciate it.
Do you remember the Kent card?
Oh, God, yeah. That was our charge card for the company. Yeah. And, of course, it was always broke. It never had any money on it. Yeah. I think we were like $7 was yours. I forgot.
Well, they would hand it out, to go get food or something for the whole room or whatever.
Yeah, here, let's get pizza for the meeting. Oh, okay, here's a Kent card.
And Ralph abused it to the point they took it away.
No, you didn't know, Ralph. You're not going to the store.
None of us could.
No,
they took it away from all of us.
Yeah, everybody lost a Kent card. Well, he was living in the day. He'd go from store to store, from restaurant to restaurant. Anyway, what a character. I hope he's okay. I have no idea, but he was such a character. I'm certainly, Vernon's on the phone. Vernon, 325 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Hi, Vernon. Welcome aboard, and I appreciate your patience, sir. What's up?
Hey, Kimmer.
Yes, sir.
I was with you on a few of those Toys for Tots rides back in the day.
Excellent, man. No, those were a lot of fun. We raised a lot of money for Marine Corps back then, too. That was fun. Thank you.
It was a gas every time. Anyway, without giving away any spoilers, Frasier.
Yeah.
The old Frasier was a situational comedy with emphasis on comedy. You'll agree, right?
Right, absolutely.
This one's pretty much all situations and damn little comedy.
Really? When I remembered it was on like a funny time, like at 9:15 or something. So I remembered, and I switched on to see the first 20 seconds of him walking into an airport, maybe, or out of an airport or something.
Yeah,
and they clapped, and then someone said "Frasier," and he turned around, and that's when I stopped. That's when I stopped. I just wanted to see kind of what he looked like. And obviously, it's either a live audience or a laugh track. It was clearly a studio audience type of thing. Did it work? I mean, you're saying it wasn't funny? Was it just no jokes or the people or what?
No, it sounded canned. You were getting pelted with new characters, of course, because none of the old ones are in it.
Yeah.
And the characters that are there are so vapid. I mean, it didn't do a thing for me.
Well, the guy who met him, and it sounded. My first impression was when Frasier walked in, and the audience started clapping, and he looked great. He had a big smile, and then I heard the guy say Frasier, and then this older guy came in, and it looked to me like he was saying, "Well, Frasier, it's good to see you now. How are you doing?" I mean, it wasn't. I just didn't get any electricity of any kind. But then I stopped watching, and I was hoping it would be. Well, that's a. I hope it. Now that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah. Well, the guy that met him was a tenured British professor at the school he was going to be teaching at, and that character didn't work either. It started downhill and went there from there.
I'll be darned. Well, that's a shame. And again, my one great Frasier story is I had dinner with him. I had dinner one person away from him, next to the other guy from Cocoon who won the Academy Award. And Frasier, it was a Hollywood celebrity thing. Was when I was in San Francisco, and my date was representing somebody there. Anyway, so Frasier shows up with this young blonde who she looked about 15, and she was gorgeous. Oh my! She was just a knockout. And he couldn't have been nicer. He was pleasant and charming and just the nicest man. And I can't see enough good things about him. So it's a shame if it's not funny because he really is a nice man, it seemed to me.
Well, he needed better writers, quite frankly, because the ones that were in the old show.
What a shame.
Phenomenal.
Well, maybe, and with the strike, who knows what's going to happen now. Anyway, Vernon, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening, and we're always open to TV and movie reviews around this joint. It's 3:28 already with the Karen Pete and Flounder. Okay, let's start. This Natalie Holloway story, Mom, you heard her saying, the case is solved. Frankly, after 18 years, she is pretty well composed, and what a terrible story. This guy Vandersloot is 36 years old, got 20 years in prison for extorting her and the family, claiming that he knew where the body was and he'd be willing to tell her in exchange for money. They set him up. Sting caught him. The case had the public's attention off and on for 2 decades, almost, basically. He has now admitted, Vandersloot has admitted, they were on the beach. Let's see, I get the whole, they were on, they were on the beach, and they were kissing after meeting at the bar. He tried to take things further, and she refused. Vandersloot then claims that when he insisted, she kicked him in the crotch. He stood up and kicked her extremely hard in the face, knocking her out. Vandersloot then grabbed a cinder block nearby and, quote, smashed her head in with it completely. Then he carried her body into the water, walking in until it was knee-deep, and pushed her out into the ocean to be carried away. Natalie's mother looked him in the eyes and said, "You look like hell, Joran. I do not see how you're going to make it. You're a killer, and I want you to remember that every time that jail door slams." And by the way, the scumbag is already in prison for murder and murdering a girl that he was dating in Peru, and found out when she found out he was the guy involved with Natalie Holloway. He said, "Oh, you calling me a killer? Well, I'll show you." So he killed her. Good grief. Now he says he's found Jesus. More coming up, 3:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 3:35. Here's my music. I need you, baby. Oh, man. Never let you go. The Ronettes. Be my baby. To be. Doo-wop, shoo-wop, baby girl. 2002, after a 15-year court battle, the highest state court in New York ruled that the Ronettes did not have the right to share the money earned by Phil Spector, their producer, when he was using their songs in movies and TV and advertising. The court cited a 1963 contract the group had signed back then and substantially reduced the amount they stood to gain from royalties on the sales of the records and their discs came out. So, because they signed the deal and now they had to live by it. Anyway, Ronettes, what great memories. 3:36. A quick birthday note. Well, here's what Flounder Sky writes here. Sorry. Jean-Claude Van Damme is 63. Jean-Claude Van Damme turned 63 today. He can still do a split between two chairs, but not without his testicles hitting the floor. Ouch. Sorry. I had to hear that. Dear Lord. And on this day in history, 1859, the Harpers Valley, you idiot. Harper Valley PTA, GDC Riley, who I happened to introduce and met when I emceed her at a concert back when I came back from Vietnam. 1859, the Harper's Ferry Raid. John Brown and his men arrived in the Virginia Territory to instigate a rebellion of slaves. They were attacked and overwhelmed by Robert E. Lee's soldiers and taken prisoner. The charges against John Brown were treason and leading a revolt, and he was hanged until he was dead. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. How's it going? Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, good to have you aboard. Well, more on the Natalie Holloway business. You're updated. Also, Pete's got a game for us sometime later on today. We got Pete's tweets, some Skynet, little Flounders funny, stuff like that. And when do you want to give away these tickets? Is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
What tickets?
I'm sorry. I have my list of stuff, and I forgot to cross out the one when I made an idiot a fool of myself. Oh, I want to know if you saw the video, and we got Holy Crap at Sports coming up with Pete. Did you see the video of the baseball game of the Phillies where the fan ran onto the field and how the security guards handled it? Holy smokes. You haven't seen it, Google it. Philly fan runs on the field. I mean, it looked like the guy killed him. I mean, it was like two buses running 80 miles an hour head-on collision, what that guard did to that guy running on the field. One of the funniest damn things I've ever seen. Yeah, exactly. And let that be a lesson. Hurt him.
Break their legs. Absolutely.
Put his kidney through his liver. I mean, you're asking for it. You can't have that. You're taking, you're asking for it. Simple as that. I mean, the video's hysterical. Bam! I mean, it's like Dick Butkus on a guy who, blindsiding somebody. It was beautiful. Anyway, is that an actual call there?
Yes, it is. It's Glenn from O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Remember, Pete went there. And,
Glenn from O'Reilly's Auto Parts up in the northern Georgia territory, Blue Ridge area, maybe, was it or no? Yes. Jasper. Of course, I should remember that. And Glenn's on the radio with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Glenn, how you doing, man? What's up with you today, sir?
Hello, guys. Flounder, Pete, Kimmer. Simplify to you all. And heck, Kimmer, it's all the same. LJ, Jasper, Blue Ridge.
It's beautiful territory. If I still had my Harley, I'd be up there every weekend, too, just enjoying the fresh air. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Well, when Pete and I were talking in the parking lot at my park store, one of the discussions that we had was the fact that you kind of do like to recycle old stories. So I have made a list of top 10 stories that you are most likely to retell before the year is over.
Oh, my God.
Here we go. Number
take
10.
Me now.
I once met Nancy Sinatra, the wife of Old Blue Eyes. She was a wonderfully sweet lady, petite and small. It was rumored that her husband, Frank Sinatra, was quite well endowed. Number 9, speaking of wonderfully sweet ladies, did I ever tell you about the time I got a kiss from Carol Burnett? She was the star of the Carol Burnett show. Number 8, my first car was a Corvair Monza convertible. I wanted to sell that car to a one-armed lieutenant. Unfortunately, he couldn't drive it because it was a stoop shift. Number 7, I really love Neil Diamond songs. They were popular when I was in the Marine Corps, and I was married to my starter wife. You know, the one that really loved me.
Yeah, how about Evie? How about that?
I'm good on that one, Cameron. Here we go. Number 6. One of the best interviews I ever did was Glenn Campbell. He dated that little hottie, Tanya Tucker. Did you know that Glenn Campbell was a session musician and played with the Beach Boys?
Oh, my God.
Number 5.
There's
In
more.
January 1903, George Westinghouse electrocuted
Oh, my
an elephant
God.
named Popsy while trying to prove the benefits of electricity. Number 4. And while I'm on the subject of Westinghouse, have I ever told you the story of the time I stayed in the Westinghouse mansion? That is where my daughter Jennifer was conceived. Number 3.
He's right.
I don't like the music group Styx. Tommy Shaw is a member of that band, and he indirectly caused me to get fired from my job as a news anchorman.
That's right.
Number 2. I am coming up on the 10-year anniversary of my heart attack on November 10th, 2013, the Marine Corps birthday. That heart attack occurred on a Sunday, and I actually went to work the next day on Monday for a Veterans Day show. Afterwards, Kimmer was quoted as saying, "I'm really ticked off about this. I just started again." And finally, the number 1 thing we are most likely to hear you retell before the year is over.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Have I ever told you about the time I hit a home run at Wrigley Field?
Very funny. Oh my God! You know more than I do. Of course,
Well, I was on hold for almost an hour yesterday and never got through. So I'm glad that you really.
Oh,
loved
you
your
were?
phone
Oh my
callers.
God! I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. That was probably my fault. Oh my Lord. Well, anyway, thanks, man. That's horrible.
I don't know whose fault it was, but Flounder did blame you. So
Well, it's probably true. It's probably true. All right, man. I gotta go. You're killing me. Well done.
It was my fault because I wrote it in, but I never verbally told you.
Oh, and again, I can't tell when the thing. And by the way,
So my
well,
bad,
never
Glenn.
mind. It's
But
just
he got on.
It's just the way the system works. Well, I'm so sorry. Well, thank you for that. And by the way, he mangled about there were like 45 different facts entangled, but all those things were true. But it wasn't Westinghouse who killed the elephant. Of course, it was Thomas Edison. But anyway, but stuff like that. But that was amazing. He remembers more than I do, or did at the time. Holy smokes! Anyway, all right. Let me finish up this. I mean, this is just such a horrible story. Natalie Holloway's mother says almost matter-of-factly, of course, it's been 18 years. She said, the case is finally solved. He's a murderer. He did it. And so it's over. Again, he tried to extort money from the parents. Again, he says that he was kissing her on the beach and wanted to go further. She fought him and kicked him in the crotch. So he kicked her in the face, knocked her out, and then smashed her head in with a nearby cinder block, took her into the water, and pushed her out into the ocean as she was carried away. Natalie's mother looked him in the eye and said, I don't see how you're going to make it. You're a killer. I want you to remember that every time the jail door slams. He looked at her and said, I want to take this chance to apologize to the Holloway family, to apologize to my own family, to say I hope the statement I provided brings some kind of closure to everyone involved. I am no longer that person I was back then. I've given my heart to Jesus Christ. The judge called his crimes obviously heinous. You brutally murdered 2 women who refused your sexual advances. You knew the information you were selling was an absolute lie. The story of when he went to, in 2010, the same year he was indicted for extortion, Vandersloot was arrested in Peru for the death of 21-year-old Stephanie Flores, a business student from a prominent family who was killed 5 years to the day after Natalie Holloway was killed. Peruvian prosecutors said Vandersloot killed her while trying to rob her after learning she had won money at the casino where the two had met in Peru. They say he, quote, killed her with ferocity and cruelty, beating and then strangling her in his hotel room. She had found out about Natalie Holloway and said, oh, my God, you're the guy involved with a Natalie Holloway murder case. And he apparently got furious, calling me a murderer. So he killed her, too. And got 28 years or 28 years in prison for that. But now it turns out that, do I understand this? He got a 28-year murder sentence for Stephanie, and his sentence for U.S. Will run concurrently. Hell, it ought to run after it. What do you mean concurrently? I guess that was the deal to make him admit what he did. A little consolation, but he's going to get out one day because he's young enough to probably get out of prison in 15 years. And he should have to serve another 20 after that for the extortion attempt. But that's the deal. You make a deal with the devil, and sometimes it doesn't go all the way. Well, maybe somebody will kill him when he gets free one day. 346 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Happy Hump Day. We have Flounder's funnies and funny stuff coming up here probably somewhere in the near future, I'll bet you. Look out. 351 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Yeah. If you got no money, honey, we don't got no weed. Is that what he said?
Got your disease.
And other no. That's hard to do. Can you back that up, or do you have to start all over again?
I got to start it over.
Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. But that was pretty cool. And I can't do it that fast.
Nah.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Guns N' Roses, and it was on this day in 1989 during a gig at the LA Coliseum in California, opening for the Rolling Stones. In 89 on this day, Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose announced, "This will be my last Guns N' Roses concert with you people, unless the band members get their shinola together." He was referring to the use of heroin. He said, "This is it." I don't put up with you people anymore. Pam Dauber's birthday today. Remember Mork and Mindy?
Yep.
The TV show with the late Robin Williams. Mork and Mindy. Pam Dauber is 72, and I think still married to Mark Harmon, former football star at, I think, USC and NCIS star, and also he was one of the hospital guys. He was doing a lot. He was a big star. And I guess, is that show still on? I've never seen it. NCIS?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm sorry, Flounder. Flounder's in the back doing all this stuff.
Yes, it's still on. They have a couple of them. There's one in New Orleans. I think there's one in Los Angeles, and there's one in Washington.
Oh, my. Anyway, well, that's good. Well, I'm glad they're working. Good side. Quick historical note here, if you don't mind. Boy, do I remember this. 1954, Texas Instruments. Are they still around? Didn't they get gobbled up by somebody, I'll bet you. Anyway, 1954, Texas Instruments comes out with a Regency TR1 transistor radio. The first commercially sold transistor radio, 1954, cost $49.95. That was a lot of money back then. Remember Radio Shack and all this stuff? Man, everybody had the transistor radio. Every kid I know would make sure we had enough batteries to listen to a ball game under the covers at night when we were supposed to be sleeping and sneaking them into school. I remember carving out an old book I found in my parents' library and carving out all the middle pages and putting a transistor radio in there and taking the book to school. So it's the damnedest thing. But that was transistor radios where everybody had a transistor radio. And you had to. I mean, it was a great, and what a great invention. And now, of course, we have this stupid cell phone, which is a satellite television network in your pocket. Anyway, Kim, Repeat, and Flounder, how you doing? 354-404-741-1230. Okay, so President Stupid goes to Israel. You know, again, has anybody explained why he went? I mean, there was no, it was a photo op. It was an embarrassment, and it was like, reminded me of, I saw the video while I'm working at home this morning, and I saw the video. It reminded me like when Barney, says, "Hey, Ange, can I get my bullet out of my pocket now? Can I get my bullet out now? Can I get my one bullet now, Angie?" I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like when he gets Otis locked up for walking drunk, and Otis puts himself in the jail, and Barney says, "Well, here at the Rock." I mean, what a freaking disgrace. He goes over for no reason at all and stands there while Blinken and douchebag, the Secretary of State, is mumbling over some pimpy little comment about, "Oh, we're always here for Israel. We'll always be." Well, duh, we knew that. You didn't have to go to Israel to freaking say that. There was no reason for you to go there, interrupt everything. And by the way, he still sounds like he's half asleep. I was embarrassed. He stood there at the podium. President Stupid Face stood there at the podium, half asleep, and, well, of course he had to travel all the time. Well, he didn't have to go there, and he was sleeping all the way on the plane, I guarantee you. And plus they drug him up. You see the vein marks in his arm and his hand? For all the chemicals they pump into him by IVs all the time? You're killing me. Anyway, Flounder, we had a cut of President Stupid Face who once again embarrassed himself. And remember, Pete, I think we did an actual over-under. How long it would take him. Do you remember, Pete, when we were betting each other? I think Pete left us. We were betting each other how long it would take him to mention a certain person in President Stupid Face's comments when he got to Israel. Flounder, if you will.
I told the story before, and I'll tell it again, of my first meeting with an Israeli prime minister 50 years ago as a young senator. I was sitting across from Golda Meir at her desk in her office. And she had a guy who later became prime minister, sitting next to me.
Yeah, couldn't remember. And again, how long did it take? He's got to tell a story about Golda Meir. It's unbelievable. I mean, President Stupid Face did announce that Israel's agreeing to allow humanitarian aid to help into the Gaza. As you recall, Israel cut off the flow of food, fuel, and water and so forth to the Gaza Strip after they got slaughtered by the ISIS-style Nazi invaders. And by the way, check this out. The Associated Press writes there were conflicting claims of who was responsible for the hospital blast. The Associated Press has not independently verified any of the claims or evidence released by the parties. Oh, really? Well, we'll get to that here in a second. Since the Israeli military did not strike that hospital in the Gaza Strip, it was hit by a failed rocket launched by the ISIS Jihad terror organization itself, Hamas, the Islamic terror organization. Everybody knows it now. The IDF did not strike it. The operational systems indicate a barrage of rockets fired by terrorists in Gaza themselves. The hospital was hit there. They've been blaming Israel. And by the way, footage shows the moment the rocket launched from the Gaza Strip falls short and exploded inside the Palestinian enclave. Other videos all show the exact same thing, and yet the phony story came out that it was the Israelis, obviously, who did it. And as a result, remember all the violence you saw all night long and today at all the embassies all over the world, and all the violence caused and all the hatred toward America and the Jews because of the phony story of bombing the freaking hospital. Fake news. It was a lie. It's like what they did to Trump. And all the results of all those things have happened because of a fake story. And the news is that they did it to themselves.
Yep.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And by the way, President Stupid Face, another one of his mumbling comments concerned, he said... this is incredible. Based on the source of information about the hospital thing, so-and-so, the U.S. continued to collect evidence, he says, quote, this is President Stupid Face, based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you. The other team? The other team? I mean, it's unbelievable. He said, well,
here's the audio of him saying it.
I'm deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you.
Not you. That's the president. I mean, can you imagine? Have you ever in your life, I don't care how freaking old you are, have you ever in your life ever seen or heard a president of our United States acting like this guy? It's an embarrassment. Even that, mumbling, drawling LBJ, well, put my beagles up by the ears, my boy. But still, they were in charge. They knew what they were talking about. They had some kind of sense of where the hell they were. This guy is, this is an embarrassment.
Can you imagine if Trump had said the other team?
Oh, my God. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite politicians ever is Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana. Yeah, Flounder's got a montage of some of his bits talking about these idiot politicians. Coming up with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's already freaking 4 o'clock. Look out. Here we go. 3. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Falande. And the Buggles. There we go. There we go. You kill. Yeah, boy. I like this song. I can't help it. It was 1979. And the Buggles were number 1 on the British singles chart with Video Killed the Radio Star, a studio band featuring producer Trevor Horn. Famously, this was the first ever music video shown on MTV in North America. And the Buggles. Wait for a second. Video. I love it. And our birthday list includes Chuck Lorre, 71 years old, the creator of 2.5 Men, who took the brunt of Charlie Sheen's wrath. Chuck Lorre also produced The Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, Mike and Molly, and the Anna Faris sitcom Mom. Chuck Lorre, 71 years old today. And let's see, this was the day in 1975, Paul Simon reunited with Art Garfunkel on Saturday Night Live. They played My Little Town, their first collaboration since they had split up. There was a second episode of Saturday Night Live's first season. So I can't remember that back then, 75. Anyway, how you doing? 4:05, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Some more. We mentioned the president's stupid face is embarrassing himself again and just making no sense. Doesn't know where he is. And it's just a total freaking embarrassment. It had no reason to go to Israel for any possible reason whatsoever. Flounder found some comments of Senator John Kennedy, who, among other things, was just last night talking with Martha on Fox, I believe it was, saying that we don't have a president who's a defense hawk. We have a guy who's more interested in whether a man can breastfeed than whether we have any national security. Anyway, Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana, very funny guy when it comes to politics. Here's a little sample of what he says these days.
I'm like Bluto in Animal House. I'm just fat, drunk, and stupid. Frankly, I can't, because I can't get my head that far up my rear end. Stick it up their fact checker. They can kiss my ass. Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce, okay? We cannot run the greatest economy by putting fairy dust and unicorn urine in our cars. Urinate to get off the pot. My car doesn't run off fairy dust. My car doesn't run off unicorn urine. The spending porn on pet projects, it's just chock full of spending porn. There's an enormous amount of spending porn. Next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead, call a criminal, call a meth head. It must suck to be that dumb. I don't mean disrespect, but the mayor needs to take her meds. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
Senator John Kennedy.
I'll have more in the 5 o'clock.
Very funny man. He was talking to Martha the other night, and he said, the point is our enemies have concluded that America's got a president who's a bit of a weenie on national security and defense, like Xi and Putin and the Ayatollah think they can roll over him like thunder on a summer night. The man's got away with words. Some more reaction locally. You should know about these kinds of things, and does it make any difference to you? It sure would to me. An Atlanta cancer doctor is now on leave. They apparently have not fired her at the Emory Winship Cancer Institute. Her name is Dr. Abir N. Abu Yabis. She hails from Beirut, Lebanon, and she has been suspended after she posted celebrating the glory of the terrorist group Hamas and wished for no peace on stolen land. I needed to say it loud, she wrote in her... she's a poet. Here's this cancer doctor, Abir Abu Yabis, Emory Winship Center. She wrote her hatred in as in poetry. Here we go. They got walls, we got gliders, glory to all resistance fighters. Palestine is our demand, no peace for stolen land. Not another nickel, not another dollar we will pay for Israel's slaughter. Not another nickel, not another dime will we pay for Israeli crime. Well, they put her on leave. Saying we condemn this idiot's comments. She went to a pro-Palestine rally outside the Israeli embassy in Atlanta alongside the Palestine Justice Group, and she said, thanks to Emory Students for Justice in Palestine and all the other student bodies who helped me hang on to the last thread of my faith in humanity and hope for justice. One day, they will slaughter all the Jews, and she'll be happy and be reunited with, oh my God, Dr. Abir N. Abu Yabis, Emory Winship Cancer Institute. Gets a vacation. Gonna give her a little leave action. Gotta take a couple of weeks off there if you don't mind, and then we'll come back and treat the patients. Yeah. Would that affect you? Would you make a note if you're doing cancer stuff at Emory? I don't know. It's called the Emory Winship Cancer Institute. Is that their cancer center? I guess that's what they call the people who go cancer go to that particular part of it. Anyway, whatever. Would you go? Does that matter to you? Is that going to make a difference?
Yes.
Well,
it would make a huge difference.
Make an enormous difference, especially if you're a Jewish patient. And she would say, well, I would never harm anybody on my ass. You seem to be just fine with other people harming people slicing babies' heads off. How the hell can you call yourself a healer and a cancer doctor and then celebrate what happened over there? I mean, my God, duh. Jeez. Oh, and there's a little bit more. The chairman of the GOP committee, the most powerful tax committee, Representative Jason Smith. He's from Missouri, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. And he says we're fed up with all these students taking an anti-Israeli stance on universities and college campuses that may be getting tax breaks and maybe should not. He said some of these failures to condemn the students and the activities and so forth that are unforgivable. He says to say I'm disgusted by statements of support for Hamas we've seen in recent days is an understatement. Celebrating, excusing, downplaying the horrific rape, torture, and so forth of innocent people is the same as supporting it. Some organizations are celebrating unspeakable acts of terror. Some of these people currently enjoy tax-exempt status in the United States, and their statements call into question the academic or charitable missions they claim to pursue. Some of these organizations celebrating these acts enjoy tax-exempt status. And maybe it's time to find out exactly what they're really up to and if it really is charity. University administrators, he says, for example, have weaponized their institutions to attack speech and free inquiry as violence. Yet they fail to condemn actual violence that threatens our way of life, while they're enjoying lucrative federal tax-exempt status. Well, we're going to find out. The House Ways and Means Committee is the chief tax writing committee in Congress. And he's had it up to here. One more thing. There's an Israeli-based American chick calling herself Jazzy, going by the Israeli Bites on Instagram and TikTok. She's a food girl, and they're making fun of her because she's complaining it's so hard to find gluten-free, safe food over at the Army bases to feed our troops. And they're saying, you're worried about finding gluten-free bread? Anyway, do we have a little sound there, Flounder?
After hearing that there was a major lack of gluten-free, celiac-safe food at Army bases across the country, we got together with a gluten-free bakery in Jerusalem to make sure those soldiers got fed. On our way to the bakery, the city of Jerusalem felt eerie and empty. We immediately started baking breads, cookies, and cakes to deliver across the country to different soldiers, thanks to volunteers who offered to drive for us. We quickly understood that we were running out of flour and that we would need to find more and lots of it if we were going to be able to continue to bake. Even the largest supermarket in Jerusalem had no gluten-free flour on its shelves, but thankfully they allowed us to go into their machzan and we found what we needed. We were able to continue our work for the day, but we knew that we wouldn't be able to get through the next without a lot more flour. We finished packaging up all of the bags for the night, and we decided to call it a day so that we could have enough energy to do it all again the next.
Let's take a shot.
I'm so incredibly grateful that Shar was willing to donate 50 kilos of flour and get it to us within a day so that we could continue baking for the soldiers. Thanks to your donations, we've gotten to over 400 soldiers, and we will continue baking for as long as is necessary.
Well, that's so wonderful. Although, so the big concern is getting the gluten-free comments, reaction. If your biggest concern during wartime is making gluten-free bagels, you have the ability to run around town trying to find your gluten-free ingredients. That means you're not at war. You're at war when you can't find clean drinking water and you have no electricity and there's absolutely no food anywhere. Blankets, gluten-free or not, do better. That was disgusting. Another, must be exhausting fighting starving people without any gluten-free bread. Oh, my God, yeah. Those poor soldiers have to fight to the death without any gluten-free bread. Another, she doesn't have gluten-free bread. You guys, it's a crisis. No gluten-free flour versus no water, food, or electricity. How can you compare this? Well, she went back to her Backlash Instagram Jazzy page and said, well, I'll be taking a short break from social media. Sorry. Anyway, 4:14 with Trump's got a plan. You will talk about it in a second coming up. Plus, Flounder's funnies and a little tweets or something. We got it all coming up here with the Kipper, Pete, and Flounder. There we go. There you go. That's a little jazz action for you there. Oh, my goodness. Al Green there. Well, he's Al Green. I'm not. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder there with Al Green. A very bad day in history for Al. On this day in 1974, Al Green was taking a shower at his home in Memphis when his fully psycho nutbag ex-girlfriend Mary Woodson burst into the shower at his Memphis home and poured boiling hot grits all over him. Second-degree burns, and then, as he was screaming, she shot herself dead, DRT, right there. And apparently, they say that led Al Green to turn his back on pop music. After that, it was kind of, mercy. A horrible deal. Quick birthday of note, Zac Efron. And Flounders Guy writes here, Zac Efron and his six-pack abs are 36 today. I don't know what that means. I thought this was fairly amusing. 1961, the famous painting by Henri Matisse called Le Batteur went on display at the New York Museum of Modern Art. 1961, famous Matisse. 46 days later, it was discovered the damn thing was hanging upside down. Boy, that thing is beautiful. Boy, you can see the genius of his work, of the thing. You morons. That does pretty much say it all. I don't know.
He walks in sacrilege.
My God, man. 421. Oh, mercy. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Again, our number 404-741-1230. 741-1230. If you would like to call us, we love that. Donald Trump has some ideas. Keep jihadists out of America. I think you get a little bit of trouble trying to define these and convince a court they work, but it's definitely the right attitude. 1, reinstate and expand all the Trump travel bans. If you're from a terrorist country, you're not coming here. 2, full suspension of State Department refugee resettling. No, again, that's how they put 7 million. He said borders closed, except for all you refugees, which is like 6 million. So forget that, period. Implement strong ideological screening for all immigrants. Are you sympathetic to jihadists, Hamas, ideology like that? Automatically disqualify. How they can prove that, I think it would be very hard to. Or if someone just said, well, I feel bad for all people who get killed, you're out. I mean, I don't know, but, they were a good idea. Aggressively deport resident aliens with jihadist sympathies. Again, if you can find out, absolutely. Revoke the student visas. And boy, a lot of politicians are calling for this. Revoke the visas of radical anti-American and anti-Semitic foreigners at colleges and universities. Proactively send ICE, immigration and concert entertainers, I forgot what that stands for now, to pro-jihadist demonstrations, jihadist demonstrations to enforce... Idiot. I'm trying to remember what the hell ICE stands for. Incredible, counterproductive entrepreneurs. I almost had it. Pro-jihadist demonstrations to enforce our immigration laws and remove the violators from our country. Expand denaturalization of criminals and terrorists and get them and immigration cheats. That's the other thing. All those people who signed that phony document, get them the hell out, round them up and send them back. Mm-hmm. And then invoke the Alien Enemies Act to accelerate domestic deportations. Again, if you are a non-American citizen on American soil, and I gave you the quote of the federal law yesterday. If you are an American soil that's non-American citizen, and you are either condoning or assisting in activities that are against America, you're breaking a federal law and you get kicked out of the country. And boy, look at all the people breaking the law right now. Jeez. Anyway, 424. By the way, I think that, again, this is wrong of me, but I think it's hysterical that the district attorney in Orleans in Louisiana, the county is called a parish. In Orleans County, Orleans Parish, that's New Orleans County DA Jason Williams and his wife were leaving a restaurant the other night, and he got to his black Lincoln Navigator about 10 p.m. in the Lower Garden District, and that's when a bunch of guys with rifles, automatic rifles, showed up, 2 suspects, and said, we'll take that car. And he said, yes, sir, absolutely, have it all your way. Luckily for the guy, for the DA, again, this is DA and his mother, had dinner, and then we're getting in the car and got carjacked, and the DA had the key fob in his pocket. So when you have the key fob in your pocket and someone drives a car away, if it's running, it's not going to go very far. So they got the car. It was recovered, but everything inside it was stolen. And apparently the same guys then, 20 minutes later, carjacked somebody else, another woman less than half a mile away. And so the DA is saying, oh, boy, we got to do something about this crime. Well, guess what? You know who backed him? Who backed this DA in New Orleans? Who do you expect? Golly.
George
was
Soros.
It Satan? George Soros. George Soros. And although people are saying, well, this is kind of a gotcha because guess what this guy's history shows? This DA, I'll get his name again, Jason Williams, is a selective prosecutor. He ran on a platform. He ran for office 3 years ago and won on a platform of social justice reform, intentions to find alternatives to incarceration, and changing what he considered an ineffective and unfair money bail system. Well, he just said what he believes. Social justice reform, alternatives to jail, alternatives to incarceration means no jail. And ineffective, unfair money bail means no bail money, no cash money. Just get out on your word, you'll come back. That's how he ran. And the billionaire Democrat donor George Soros donated $220,000 to the PAC, which helped campaign against his opponent and beat him. He's a George Soros DA, just like the guys in Philadelphia and all the others around the country. And William said, being sworn in, we've got to go beyond punishment and invest in our community. Well, guess what? In his first full year last year, his tactics resulted in a drastic decline in accountability for violent offenders. His office dismissed, there were 1,400 violent felony cases in his first months in office. 1,400 violent cases. He dismissed 937 of them. George Soros finding alternatives to violent felony cases. Dismissed. 900 out of 1,400. 9 out of 14. You're free to go. Sorry, didn't mean to, mess up your life there for a couple hours. Unbelievable. Oh, and by the way, this is a funny story. Funny, not funny. In Texas, and it makes me happy. Frank DeLeon Jr., 19 years old, is a murderer. He was accused of shooting his ex-girlfriend, Diamond Alvarez, who was at the time 16 years old. He was 19, she's 16. This was last year. He shot her 22 times and killed her. Well, he was not in the courtroom the first part of his trial, but he was in the courtroom for the second day of his murder trial. And the girl, Diamond's mother, Anna, had just finished giving her victim impact testimony at the trial when she walked off the stand and went straight to look at the guy. He was laughing at her. And in the meantime, the uncle of the dead girl attacked him, rushed him, punched him several times until the court bailiffs got him off. They attacked him and kicked the crap out of him right there in the damn courtroom because he was laughing and smiling at the mother of the dead girl that he shot 22 times. And by the way, the mother and the uncle that later apologized, saying, that was wrong of me. It was wrong because we're not monsters. But what he did is horrible. Seeing my daughter there looking at him, looking at him, knowing he did that, him laughing in my face. It was wrong, but I'm so sorry for it. He was smiling during the whole time. He's a monster. He'll never change. Did he look remorseful? He was laughing at my face. Life is not a joke. My daughter's life was not a joke. In the meantime, the little girl's uncle was taken away in handcuffs. Apparently, this scumbag 19-year-old Alvarez murdered the 16-year-old girl because she discovered that he was dating another girl on the side, so he killed her. 19, and she was 16. God, it's not one world, all right. Anyway,
did you see that they basically the Palestinians have taken over the U.S. Capitol?
Our U.S. Capitol?
Yeah.
Complaining about the confirmation for the new Israeli ambassador, because everything's been held up and no speaker or anything. Yeah. So now they've taken it over now, have they?
Yeah, they broke up a hearing and stormed in there. Now they've taken over the rotunda. Gee, isn't this an insurrection? Isn't Rashida Tlaib talking to them outside when this was going on?
So I assume they'll all be held in custody and solitary confinement for about a year and a half then, and then be sentenced to 12 years in prison, because it is an insurrection if they took over the Capitol. Oh, my God, where's the hit? Oh, here we go. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 4:30. Stand by. Here we go, man. Wow. Allegana. This is amazing. The Temptations on this day in 1969 scored their second American #1 single hit with Can't Get Next to You. It was number 13 in the UK. I've never heard this song. I don't remember this. It was a #1 hit. I do not. In 69, I was predisposed to something else. I guess. I don't remember this song. That's weird. The Temptations. Well, I don't know anything anyway. By the way, Pete, do I have your permission? I've got 5 sports birthdays, and I'm running out of other kind of birthdays. Can I use one of your sports birthdays today?
Sure.
Okay. Lindsey Vonn, 39 years old today. She used to date Tiger Woods, but she had a little problem trying to, Tiger likes a certain kind of...
they broke up in the end.
Yeah, you never leave your buddies behind, though. I know that. She's still friends, apparently. But that was... Tiger has a certain proclivity for to take me out to the ball game, I guess. Anyway.
Moon River. What kind of crack is that?
I have no idea. Samuel Finley Breese Morse, on this day in 1842, laid his first cable for the telegraph, hence the Morse code.
The telegraph.
Okay. Morse code. There you go. Samuel F.B. Morse. And that's what the F and B stood for.
Got to be careful with the pulse is there.
There's no F and B in Morse, I guess. 437. Why am I getting all giggly all of a sudden? I can't imagine. By the way, I mentioned it quickly on this AI thing, and at some point we may be doing a Skynet update at some point with Pete, and also we have Pete's tweets and Holy Crap at Sports. And when's your next Holy Crap at Sports podcast, Pete? I'm soon later this week, maybe. I think you did one yesterday.
Friday morning or Friday afternoon.
Okay. A rapper named Pras Mikel of Fugees was found guilty of acting as a foreign agent for China. He was found guilty pumping millions of dollars, like $80-something million into Barack Hussein Puttitat, divider-in-chief's money campaign, and foreign money that came from China and went to Puttitat. Okay? Well, he got convicted of acting as a foreign agent for China after Leonardo DiCaprio's testimony kind of sank him. Anyway, here's the problem. He is now arguing that his lawyer used artificial intelligence to generate the lawyer's closing arguments when the hip-hop artist was found guilty. He used an experimental AI program to write the argument, which made, he claims, frivolous arguments, conflated the schemes, and failed to highlight key weaknesses in the government's offensive case. Then publicly boasted that the AI program, quote, turned hours or days of legal work into seconds. Well, the new defense team for this guy says that it's now apparent that the lawyer and his co-counsel had an undisclosed financial stake in the AI program, and they experimented with it during Michael's trial so they could issue a press release afterwards promoting the program, a clear conflict of interest. And in fact, a press release published by the firm called iLevel claimed its AI litigation assistance technology made history in becoming the first use of generative AI in a federal trial involving Pras Michael, the former member of the hip-hop band The Fugees. So they admitted it, that they were, oh my God, I assume that's going to be a problem. Unless I assume a judge is going to have to rule whether he thought the AI version of the closing arguments was legit. But how are you going to figure that out? Do you think it was better than the lawyer's version? Now the lawyer has to come up with his own version to see if his would have been better than the machine. I mean, this is unbelievable. And by the way, how are you supposed to figure that? How are you supposed to figure out if your lawyer is using AI to make his arguments? How are you going to figure it out? How are you going to figure out if anybody you hire to do anything for you is not using AI? Now maybe, oh my God, maybe now if we ever hire anybody to do a service for us involving looking up anything, and kind of research or coming up with a document for us, a legal document, whatever, we're going to have to now sign a document saying you are not allowed to use AI. On the other hand, maybe you want them to use AI if it help you put the facts together. I know, but again, so what are we supposed to do now? What if we don't like the AI version? Are you going to have to make the guy do his own version and then do an AI version to see which you like better, which one you're going to pay for? I mean, this is a nightmare.
Well, you got to ask precise questions. Like when I ask Alexa something, sometimes she'll get it so wrong. It's because her AI doesn't really understand what question I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, and here we go. One other thing, too, and I don't mean to take your Skynet, although it's kind of a Skynet. In New York City, that idiot Mayor Eric Adams has been using AI to make robocalls to raise money and make messages. For example, the AI makes robocalls contorting his own voice into several languages which he does not speak. And it poses new ethical questions about the government's use of rapidly evolving technology. Robocalls going out in languages like Mandarin and Yiddish to promote city hiring events. But they have not included any disclosure that the calls are not real. They're generated by AI machinery. It's not the mayor. Now, does that make a difference? What if and by the way, who's in charge of that program? You think the mayor even knows about it?
Yes, he knows about it. I think it's very smart that he's doing it.
On the other hand, what about if it's using it for things that someone can put in there that has he's not going to sit down and say, okay, do this, but I don't like this one. He doesn't do that.
No. This is all going to be litigated as we go along. Every step of the way is going to have to be litigated or brought before the Chamber of Commerce or from the county system or whatever. They're going to have to sit there and debate every single time because they're going to be breaking. Who would ever thought this could happen?
I know.
What he just did. So every day it's going to be something new that they're going to have to sit down and think about. Well, should we let this happen?
It's amazing. Every day when at 6 in the morning, I started looking at all the news stories. I go through all the Fox apps and the news apps and all these other things. Every single day, there's at least a couple of news stories which are not supposed to be AI stories, but they have an AI issue in them. I mean, this is really becoming effusive. I mean, this is it's affecting, I guess, every industry.
Oh, yeah.
And every, it's just it's scary. Anyway.
The only thing that will slow it down is we can't make semiconductors powerful enough fast enough.
Yeah. I guess. Oh, no. All right. Oh, God, stop. What did I do? I forgot. Oh, you got a Flounders funny or something in there? I forget the message, I guess.
Anthony Jeselnik is...
we like him. And Jeselnik, I think he's
Jeselnik.
No, it's actually, I think you're right. I think it's Jeselnik, and I thought it was Jeselnik, but I think you're right. It's Jeselnik. Yeah,
I learned a lot from my parents, especially my dad. Like, I'll never forget the first time I ever got a bad report card in school. First time I got a bad report card in school, I brought it home, I gave it to my dad, and my dad beat me. Beat the hell out of me. But I learned something. Because the next time I got a bad report card in school, I brought it home, and I gave it to my mom. And let her take the hit.
He always has some. He's a very funny guy. Very funny guy. Oh, excuse me. By the way, coming up, we got some like celebrity personality stuff. Oh, and I got ripped for doing the story about how a man can treat a woman and be really macho, but it's also sweet and nurturing and lovely to her at the same time. And I got ripped for it, and I'm not changing. But also coming up, how even Kelce himself, Travis Kelce himself, said that's exactly the way he was feeling about it. And by the way, if it's okay for Taylor Swift, the most powerful woman in the world, to be manhandled like that, it's okay for him. And Tommy Lee, oh my God, what do you hear about his daily habit? And Victoria's Secret's going to go sexy again. Well, I'll be damned. It's 4:45 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out.
They've done it before. They shot the woman who wasn't unarmed in the neck and killed her and murdered her.
Yeah, that's right.
Why aren't they shooting
Babbitt.
these bastards?
Actually, and mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt Day. Yeah. By the
Why aren't
World
they
Cup.
shooting these bastards in the throat?
Good question. Excellent question. Excellent question. And incidentally, the camera footage does show the moment that the rockets launched by the killer slaughterers from the Gaza Strip falls short and explodes inside their own enclave in the Gaza Strip area, blowing up the hospital and the people inside it. It was Hamas that did it. It was a failed rocket launched by their own terror organization that did it and exploded. Had nothing to do with Israel. And yet, I mean, video after video after video, several videos show the exact same thing. It's confirmed. It matches footage taken by Al Jazeera. The rocket misfire landing inside Gaza. Palestinian media outlets showed the blast at the Ahil Arab Hospital, geolocated by experts at the hospital. I mean, it's true. It happened. They did it themselves. And yet, look what's happened around the world, including right now in America. And again, your point is perfect. What the hell? I mean, we don't have to take this in America. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just very infuriating. Again, by the way, my TV went blank in here, so I can't monitor what's going on at the Capitol. So, Pete, it's up to you if you got a screen there available at some point.
This is just insanity. You got Jewish people up there not giving a damn about their people in Israel and protecting the Palestinians who have been kicked out of every country they've ever been involved in. Nobody wants them, and there's a reason. They create unrest wherever they go. They're not civilized. They're barbarians. Yeah. Why are we putting up with this?
Yeah. Well, a great question. Why is our president going over there at all? I mean, again, it's just, again, that's the other thing. He should be standing up right now in America saying, whoa, you don't get to do that. Where the hell is our president of the United States telling people to stop the insurrection going on right now at the Capitol? I mean, seriously, they complained Donald Trump didn't stop it. Where's President's stupid face? I don't see him out there saying, oh, no, you can't do that, shutting down our government. I assume he's going to ask the FBI and their corrupt, treasonous, lying, perjurious director, Chrissy the Cossack Ray, going to go after these people now and ruin their freaking lives and make them get lawyers and expenses and, take all of their money out of their bank account so they try to freaking defend themselves.
Yeah. The only country over there that was trying to help the Palestinians, despite all they've done to them, the only country that was trying to help them was Israel. And what did they do? Yeah. They turned that against them. They used it to attack them. No, Egypt's not helping them. Jordan's not helping them. Lebanon's not helping them. Turkey's not helping them. The only people that tried to open up their border and let them come in and actually earn a living and get a profession, they turned on and tried to kill. Enough. Final straw.
That just happened preceding the attack.
Yeah,
they welcomed them in.
A few weeks before.
Yeah, yeah. And yet, President Stupid Face is still saying he was over there today, and I guess he's on the way back home. He spent over there for a few hours. I guess they didn't want to make him stay so that he would have to, go to a dinner party and fall asleep in his soup like every other time they had, because, I have to take a nap first. He went over to make an announcement that Israel is allowing humanitarian assistance to go into the Gaza Strip area from Egypt, but it will not be used for anything other than humanitarian.
Yeah.
Right.
BS.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly. Anyway,
once again, this administration is funding terrorism, just like the $6 billion to Iran. They're funding terrorism, and then looking us in the eye and say, "Oh no, we're not doing that." You know damn well you're doing it.
Yeah. And President Stupid is still saying that there are conflicting reports. It says there's a lot of people out there weren't sure what caused the blast at the hospital. Protests throughout there's still conflicting reports. But he said it seems it might be the other team. The other team. We actually heard him say the words. The other team.
These protesters up in the Capitol, look, most of them are Jewish. Talk about useful idiots, what Lenin used to call useful idiots.
They're the ones who vote Democrat. Wow, how could a Jew vote Democrat? Seriously.
These people are stupid. I mean, they're asking for annihilation.
And the T-shirt, again, I don't have a TV monitor screen in here anymore, but it says Jews for peace or Jews to stop this for
ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
Jews say ceasefire now. Yeah, mourn the dead, but fight like hell for the living. Go to Gaza with your little demonstration and see what happens to you. Go to Gaza with your beloved Palestinians and see what the barbarians do to you. These are overeducated, useful idiots who have no sense at all of self-preservation. None whatsoever.
And I'm reminded of the old cliche joke from 60 years ago or whatever it was, where the 6-Day War, where the bad guys are on one side of a desert hill, and somebody says, hey, there's one Jewish soldier over there. Let's go over there and kill him. So he says, all right, you 5 guys go over and kill that Jew. So the 5 guys go over the hill and don't come back. So he says, all right, well, I want to happen. So are you 30 guys? You go over and kill that Jew. So the 30 guys go over the hill, and they don't come back. So he sends a whole battalion over there to go over the veil. And all of a sudden, after a while, one guy comes struggling back over the hill, bloody and battered. And with his last breath, he said, look out, it's a trick. There's 2 of them. I mean, indicating the ferocity of the Jewish people when you try to kill them in their sleep and bomb them and come in and kill their babies. That was in 1967. What happened to the attitude since then? What do you mean, Jews for ceasefire? My God, man. I mean, we're all in favor of nobody being slaughtered, but we're also in favor of, making sure they just stop them. If a guy's coming into your house and murders your daughter in front of you and then has a knife and wants to kill your wife, are you going to stop him or say, well, we really are calling for peace here, sir? Mm.
I am so tired. Jesus. A lot of people I respect have been saying this the last few days, that the poor Palestinians live in an open-air prison. Really? They do? Okay, fine. Who put them there? They did. Yeah. They put them there by trying to kill the king of Jordan back in the 70s, and so they kicked him out of Jordan. They caused unrest in Egypt, so the Egyptians kicked him out and built a wall to keep them out, basically, underground and above ground. The only people that put the Palestinians in this open-air prison are Palestinians.
Yeah. That's really...
And when Israel opened up the border to kind of let them in, what did they do? They tried to kill them.
Well, yeah, 2 weeks ago. It started a couple weeks ago, and they said, let's have a peaceful, influx of people to find work and find jobs and show us that we're all, get along together and help the economy and help your neighborhoods and help your neighbor. Yeah.
And they say Israel caused this by having a blockade. This is why they have a blockade.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's almost 5 o'clock. Holy Crap at Sports is coming up, and a lot of other stuff, too, with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We'll try to make sense of it all in a minute. Look out. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right up like. Ready on your dog. Target. The road guards out. Left shoulder, right up like. Help. We'll get it together. Look out, it's only me. It's only the giver. How's it going? 504. And you're on board with a nonsense going on. I just heard the news guy say that 3 of these scumbags who have now taken over in an insurrection at the Capitol on behalf of the murderers of Hamas, 3 of them have been arrested for assaulting a police officer. Well, obviously, therefore, this is an insurrection, and assaulting a police officer got the guys of Proud Boys 14 years and 16 or 18 years. So clearly these anti-Jewish protesters should be given 12 to 14 years after being in solitary confinement for like a year and a half and having their lives ruined. What do you think? Am I wrong here?
Yeah, you're wrong. The precedent has been set. You shoot them in the neck.
Oh, that's right. No, well, yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't have a cop there who was a Republican to shoot them to kind of reverse the process here. Wow, that's what a shame. Yeah, and I mean, they took over the Capitol. They shut down the government, screaming and like protesters. Exactly what the mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt Day on January 6th.
Yep, damage things.
Yep. Exactly what they did, and assaulted police officers. So you tell me, how come though? If those people assaulted a police officer, so did that mother who pushed a fence toward a cop, and she went to solitary confinement and prison, and she got years in jail for pushing a fence toward a cop. On January 6th, mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt Day, who got murdered by a rogue officer who was then saluted as a hero for stopping the insurrection. Right. Yeah, right. Well, these 3 who've been assaulting a police officer should get the same freaking treatment. Yeah, I'll bet. Our government. And by the way, I was Peter Flounder. One of you guys just sent this thing. I just saw it. It was a text or a message or something on my phone from a guy named Brent Schur. And he says, meet the former PLO spokeswoman now working at the Department of Homeland Security. Her job is to assess the claims of asylum. And her name is, I can't, my glasses on here. I can't read the tiny little, where the hell? Here we go. Hold on a second. I got it right here. I swear to God. Nejwa Ali, officer at the Department of Homeland Security in Washington, D.C., she is assessing asylum claims, and her response to the Hamas terrorism claims, quote, blank Israel, the government, and its military. Are you ready for your downfall? And she's still employed. She told a guy named Lou Sovriak to mind his own blanking business in the phone interview, and that her hatred of Jews does not impact her ability to do her job.
Oh, how many terrorists has she let in?
And she's not protected by the First Amendment? Gee, I guess she is. She was hired during the Trump administration, shut down the PLO office in the United States, but apparently failed to stop its employees from joining the government. Her immediate internal affairs updated background investigation needs to be conducted now. Oh, my God, she's still working at the Department of Homeland Security. And she says, F Israel and the government and the military. And mind your own blanking business about how much she hates Jews. Holy crap. I mean, this is unbelievable. And again, you know, if you're an American citizen, you have the right to say it. If you're not an American citizen, then you're treading on a special ground. If you're here on special conditions, you're supposed to make sure you don't do things against our government, whether you're on a college campus or not. If you're not a citizen, you don't have the same freaking rights. Oh, man. And the consequences should be severe, and they ought to be. I can't wait to see what happens to these protesters today. It was an insurrection. They shut down the government and they assaulted police. and broke things. That's exactly what happened on January 6th. Although nobody got shot in the neck and killed.
Well, but unlike January 6th, I bet a lot of these kids or whatever, 20-somethings or whatever, have very, very well-to-do connected families, like Antifa, that will stand up for them.
Yeah. These are not homeless, out-of-work people. Yeah, these are not the dregs of society, who have never been to college and, are scraping by working at J.C. Penney's on the weekend loading boxes or something, So, these are privileged folks who, again, it's the liberal elite, mostly young women who are leading all this kind of stuff. And look at the squad. It's chicks. Anyway, it just makes me sick. And they're still getting away with it. Guy 509. Before we forget, Jim Jordan once again fell short. He's now like 22 votes short on the second go-round for Speaker of the House. I don't even care. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is all nonsense. So once again, the Republican Party. What a bunch of idiots.
Children, just basically children is what. One guy won't do it because I think he's from Alabama or something. He won't do it because he keeps voting for McCarthy after McCarthy himself has voted for Jim Jordan.
And by the way, here's what they do. They've even come out now complaining. There are Republicans complaining about Jim Jordan back when he was a wrestler in college and then later an assistant wrestling coach. And the scandal was that he didn't stop some hazing involving the wrestlers, which was all kinky, like sex stuff, like molesting gay wrestling hazing stuff, and that he knew about it and didn't stop it as an assistant wrestling coach, and so therefore he's not qualified as an American to be the leader of the United States Congress. I swear to God, there was a whole social media thing going around about this, and there are people who will not vote for him because he was involved in a scandal of wrestlers, which, by the way, all the other wrestlers on the team denied. They spoke up for him and said, "No, it's nonsense."
Am I out of line by saying, in my opinion, 80% of all high school and college wrestling is homoerotic?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. And I told you my first mistake, my first year signing up at college, I said, well, let's see what this would be like. I signed up for wrestling as you had to take a recreational activity for a one check mark thing. And I signed up for wrestling, and I realized, oh my God, this big guy's holding. No, this is bad. So I never went back again, and they gave me an F. I said, boy, did I make a mistake on this. I had no idea. I said, I forgot you like hugging and wrapping around your chest. No, thank you. I'm sorry.
I never understood the appeal of getting down on a mat all greased up and having some big, hairy, naked guy crawl all over you. I just don't understand.
On all fours, and then his starting move is to wrap his arm around your chest and put his other arm on your... Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate it.
I'm like you in high school at Southwest DeKalb. Coach Carter had us lined up, and I did that one day. I said, I
appreciate it.
I'm going to try tennis or fencing or something.
Not that there's anything wrong with that in any way.
I'm going to try a sport where I have something long and pointed in my hand to keep you away.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, I got a letter, a note the other day from, let's see if I can find it here. Hold on. Oh, no, I got it. I swear to God, I've got it right here. Here we go. From Tim, and we were, it's a response to, on one of my Facebook pages, but it was a response to something on the show. He said, you're in the right place. We're talking about something. And he said, for the love of God and all us real men, just quit talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on your radio show, please. Well, now, wait a minute. I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about Travis Kelce, who acting like a man and the old-fashioned guardian and protector of his lady, and the way he holds her hand, the way he kind of leans forward, he sort of leads her a little bit. He guides her. He does hand motions with her, stuff like that. Even the hand or the motion, the body language guy was saying the same thing. And by the way, there are a lot of hater calls saying, Taylor Swift's the one about whether he should be your bodyguard and tell the security to leave. I'll take it from here. Well, the fact of the matter is Travis Kelce said the exact same thing. He says, I'm protective of my lady, and that's the way it's going to be. That's why I was raised and brought up, and that's the way, you have to come through me, which is a perfect attitude because it also shows that he's a loving, sweet, gentle, nurturing, kissing, fondling, happy man, make his loving wife, a woman happy. And by the way, the bottom line for you freaking naysayers, including you two bastards who were all over me for the manly thing about the way he's doing this to her, the fact of the matter is, if it's okay for Taylor Swift, the most powerful woman in the world, if it's okay for her to be handled or treated exactly that way, then you should get off my back because she says it's okay. And if it's okay with her, it ought to be okay with you guys, and it sure as hell is okay with me. He's being a man, the old-fashioned kind of man. Okay, it didn't work for me, but it worked for him so far. 5:13.
All I know is
yes.
the independent newspaper has done a study, and they say that people who are obsessed with celebrities are less intelligent than the rest of us.
Well, I'm not obsessed with celebrities. I'm obsessed with man being a man to his lady. I don't give a damn who they are. The philosophy would remain the same for all of us. So there you are. All right, 5:14. Holy crap, it's sports is next. Thanks goodness. It was a feat. I was thinking. Or 10 of your duties in there that all have to be happening at the same time. So
you said duty.
My God, man. Anyway, 5:15 with a Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? It's only me. And a word for my buddies at the Atlanta Safe House. I've bought 2 of their safes, big gun safes, by the way, which are always on sale. Incidentally, save hundreds of dollars. They're just really great products and great prices at Atlanta Safe House. And I've been real happy because I just talked to my radiologist from 20 years ago who is sending me a document to prove that some effects thing for the VA stuff I'm doing. Anyway, because I lost my medical records when I was down in Florida because I didn't have a safe, and I should have had one. I should have had a truck down there from Atlanta Safe House. If you don't think you need a safe, honest to goodness, your Social Security card, for one thing, does not go in your wallet. Ask anybody. And if I lost mine in my wallet once, and many years ago, thanks to a chick riding on the back of my Harley, by the way. But the nightmare trying to get that replaced, you don't want to go through that. Atlanta Safe House. They have all the top brands: Browning, Fort Knox, American Security, business safes, high security safes, jewelry safes, vault doors, for crying out loud, and the things to put in your medical records or marriage certificates or divorce papers or anything legal, any stuff for your kids going back to school. Special things, special little loving tributes or something that you don't want to lose. I mean, think about it. And by the way, if Liberty gave out a master reset code, they'll never do that at Atlanta Safe House. And if you have a Liberty safe, and they can replace any safe lock that Liberty might have given you and give you the master reset code. This is a non-woke company. They are on your side. And I'm going to talk about those safes, that little plastic thing you get at the drugstore with a little teeny key. That's not it. Please tell them the camera sent you. By the way, if you're up in Ackworth, they have a showroom in Ackworth, Atlanta Safe House. They've got it all. Check them out. Tell them the Kipper sent you there, atlantasafehouse.com. Look out, here we go, 5:20. It's National No Beer Day. Wait to hear what Tommy Lee used to drink every day. Also, coming up, a whole bunch of sports history and the only 5 o'clock hour sportscast in America in Atlanta today. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
The Rawlings Gold Glove finalists have been named.
Aha.
And we got screwed.
No, what?
No Braves pitcher has been named. Neither was Sean Murphy at catcher, or Matt Olson at first base, or Ozzie Albies at second, or Orlando Arcia at short, or Ronald Acuna Jr. in right field, nor any Braves utility players were on the Gold Glove finalist list. There were 3 that are on it, though.
Yeah.
Austin Riley at third base, Eddie Rosario in left field, and Michael Harris the second in center.
If we don't get Michael Harris, holy moly! And so
Riley deserves it too.
The requirement is it a statistical only thing, or is it also circus catches and stuff like that for Gold Glove?
I thought it was voted on by the players. Maybe they've changed that.
I don't know. I don't know. And I wonder whether, if you make 4 errors, that's the ball game, or is it a percentage? I mean, and also if you're Ozzie Smith, or hell, Michael Harris has made so many spectacular catches, but I wonder if that counts. It may just be whether you don't ever drop the ball. I don't really know.
I'm going to get top men on our staff to look into this.
Damn it.
Georgia head coach Kirby Smart says there is no timeline for tight end Brock Bowers' return after having surgery on his ankle. They're going to do it right, and they don't care how long it takes.
I love the headline saying, well, they're not going to make it this year. It's over. They're not going to be the champions at the college this year.
Who said that?
Oh, I saw a headline, the sports headline. Well, one of the guys and said chances now disappearing without Bowers.
Well, you know what? In a normal year, I might say that's probably true, but this year, I don't think there's one great super team out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Plus,
I think they're all about the same.
I can't remember his name now. Stupid me. But there's another Georgia tight end who's great. He made a couple of spectacular catches and blocks. I mean, they got a lot of good players. The season's not over, but it's just stupid.
It's not over. It's
ridiculous.
Not surprising news that Colorado head coach Deion Sanders is cashing in on his newfound popularity. He is writing a book.
Oh, boy.
Coach Prime said he noticed the success of the Totally Biased Guide to Southern College Football, available on Amazon.com, and wishes to piggyback on that tsunami of a publishing dynamo.
There you are. Between the two of you, you'll make millions.
Well, seriously. We'll live like kings.
Like kings, I'm telling you.
Southern Cal quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams has let it be known that whichever NFL team drafts him next year, he wants partial ownership in that team.
Who said this again now?
Caleb Williams.
And who the hell's Caleb Williams?
Heisman Trophy winner, Southern Cal.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers tried this with the Jets, but the NFL stepped in and said, no, that's not allowed.
No, it's players.
So if I was a team, I'd call Caleb's bluff.
Yeah, I would do.
Tell him the Canadian Football League can get awful cold, or that you can go throw the pigskin around with Colin Kaepernick if you don't want to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
give
me a break.
I think that's a new indoor league, I think, probably.
Yeah, we got 2. Well, they just joined. XFL and they just merged.
Yeah.
The Falcons released safety Jalen Hawkins back into the wild. Safety Micah Abernathy from Tennessee was signed from the Falcons practice squad. So poor Jalen's no longer on the 53-man roster.
Oh, boy.
NFL dear leader Roger Goodell has signed an extension through 2027 for over $60 million American dollars, which means over his 17-year tenure, he's going to make how much do you think, Kimmerer?
Probably $250 million.
Higher.
$300 million.
Higher.
$370.
Higher.
$392.
Higher.
$407.
Higher.
$516.
Higher.
$547.
Higher.
$609.
Higher.
$720 million.
Yes, $700 million.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, just for butchering every draft pick's name.
I'll never forget the front. He had one job, the number one pick, and it wasn't even close. And I forgot how to pronounce the guy's name, so you'll have to do it for me, Pete.
I don't know.
The quarterback was a quarterback from California, from the USC or something, in Newfoundland. What the hell was his name? Remember, he butchered the guy's name.
I can't remember his name.
Oh, my God. Well, somebody will tell us.
Someone will tell us. Staff, Athletics relief pitcher Trevor May has retired, but not before ripping his owner, John Fisher.
Ooh.
He says, quote, "Sell the team, dude. Sell it, man. Let someone who actually takes pride in the things they own something. There's actually people who give a blank about the game.
Ooh.
Let them do it. Take mommy and daddy's money somewhere else. Dork."
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably right.
He is absolutely true. The A's finished 50 and 112 this season. They always have one of the lowest payrolls, and their ownership, they're just cheap.
Yeah.
Now, I will also say in his defense that Oakland is a horrible communist place to try and do a negotiation on a business level with.
Yeah.
That's why the Warriors left, that's why the Raiders left, and that's why the A's are going to leave.
I promise you, Oakland, there's no there there. They're not making it up. It's a horrible place to live.
Trevor also said, if you're going to be a greedy blank, own it. There's nothing weaker than being afraid of cameras. Do what you're going to do, bro. Whatever, you're a billionaire. They exist. You guys have all this power. You shouldn't have any because you haven't earned any of it. But anyway, whatever. I think his parents started the Gap or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
Mercy.
Not a great day in Braves history.
Ah, yes.
1992. I'm sitting on the couch for the entire 9 innings. And for the final inning, I get up and sit in a chair.
Uh-oh. Bad
Ed
move.
Sprague smashes a 2-run home run in the top of the ninth off the washed-up Jeff Reardon, giving the Blue Jays a 5-4 win to even the World Series at a game apiece. Of course, they would go on to lose to the Blue Jays because Jeff Reardon was washed up when he was with the Red Sox.
Yeah, and we got him,
Another bad trade.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what's the worst John Schuerholz trade? Who did great trades? Let's put that, but he had two of them. The one where he sent Adam Wainwright to St. Louis, and this one, Jeff
that's
Reardon.
true too. Yeah, Adam Wainwright. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Or the Mark Teixeira one. Oh Lord. Both the Rangers and Phillies have 2-0 leads in their championship series. Max Scherzer on the mound tonight for Texas against the Astros in Arlington.
What are the chances that they are not going to be in the World Series? I mean, you got to assume they're probably the two best teams and probably will meet. Wouldn't you agree or not?
Texas and Houston?
Yeah, no, Texas and Philadelphia. The two teams who won 2-0.
I think that's the matchup we're heading for. Yeah, the Phillies are so hot right now. Yeah. It's unbelievable. 10-0 they won last night.
Unbelievable, yeah.
I mean, there's just, of course, the D-backs are a joke. They shouldn't be there, but that's baseball. Yeah. Troy Aikman was acting weird on Monday Night Football, cracking jokes and, levity.
Really? Wow.
At one point, Joe Buck said, "What's up with you tonight?" And Troy answered, "Well, it's been an interesting week." Well, maybe that's because his girlfriend has been fired and banned from Nordstrom's department store for allegedly using her employee discount to steal exactly $3,924.44 in goods.
Troy Aikman's girlfriend is a thief at her own store?
So she probably did it before they started dating, though.
Holy cow. Well, how long have you been dating? I mean, it was this. Oh, my God. I can't.
Now, Troy was famous for throwing from the pocket. She's famous for throwing things into her pocket.
Into the pocket, yes.
1950 on this date. Connie Mack retired as manager of the Philadelphia Athletics, was that role for 50 years.
Yep, I got
Mack
that
was
one.
87 at the time. He always wore a suit and a hat.
Yep.
Didn't wear the uniform. Didn't do it. And in 1977 on this date, I remember exactly where I was. Reggie Jackson hit 3 consecutive homers in Game 6 of that World Series to help the Yankees to an 8-4 win over the Dodgers. I think he hit one of them at least, if not 2 or 3, off Bob Welch, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
I was at my ex-brother-in-law's family's house. We were in the basement going, I can't believe he just hit another one.
Yeah. I remember going down to that one knee when he drops that when he hits a good one and then pops up. And by the way, that's what gave him the Mr. October nickname. When he hit those 3 homers. That's where he got the Mr.
down
October.
On his knee,
no. From when he hit those 3 homers, he therefore became Mr. October. That's when they started calling him that.
Now, I always remember him as an Oakland A, but most people remember him as a Yankee because of what he did there.
Yeah. I still think of him as an Oakland A.
And that's sports.
I have 2 more. I have 3 more. Oh, my God, Pete, I'm going to steal the whole thing here. In fact, I have a quiz for you. I think we have a quiz for us. Maybe we'll save it if we have run time. 1873, Pete and Flounder, 1873. 4 colleges got together to make up the first rules for intercollegiate football. 4 colleges, 1873, make up the football rules. What are those 4 colleges?
I would say Princeton and Rutgers.
Princeton, Rutgers.
Fordham.
We would say Princeton and what goes with Princeton? Princeton and I went to Princeton. Yale.
Douchebags.
Yale.
You put Yale and Harvard together, not Yale and Princeton.
Oh my God. Princeton, Yale, Columbia, and Rutgers. for the 14th. Columbia.
Didn't they lose like 70 in a row at one point?
Yeah. Also, the American League granted permission for the A's to move to Oakland. They were awarded baseball franchises to Kansas City and Seattle because the A's came out of Philly and then Kansas City. A little confusing. I had forgotten all that stuff.
In fact, the A's are going to be the first one to move 3 times.
Probably. Quick birthday. Mike Ditka's 84, Hall of Famer. Thomas Hearns, boxing champ, is 65 or 66. It could be either. And Brittany Griner, the American phony trader, is either 33 or 34 today in that sports. With Pete Davis, holy crap, it's 5:30 with the Kipper, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. Here we go. It's the Bee Gees. And I went back to Massachusetts. The Bee Gees, number one on this day, 1967, with this song, Massachusetts. It was the first of their 5 British number ones. Engelbert Humperdinck was number 2 with The Last Waltz. Number 3 was Traffic. with hole in my shoe. 1967. Here's a little Bee Gees here, Flounder. Why not? What the heck? The Bee Gees. This day in history in 1995, Linda McCartney's veggie burgers were recalled in Britain after a study found that she was claiming Linda McCartney's veggie burgers were only 11% fat content. Actually, they were 23% fat content, and so they came off the market. So, and on this day in 1931, Thomas Edison begins his journey to purgatory with his death. The famous inventor of thousands of gadgets, including the phonograph and the light bulb, a portable device to pull the wings off flies and watch them squirm around, the special handles for clubbing baby seals, protective rubber gloves when you want to electrocute an elephant for profit and fun, stuff like that. The things that he was famous for when he died on this day in 1931 on his way down to hell. Let's see. So there we are. So 5:36 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And Jim Jordan is not the Speaker of the House. And the Israelis did not bomb the hospital. And everybody's going nuts. And there was an insurrection at the freaking Capitol. And 3 people got arrested today for assaulting a police officer. So let's just see what the result is and whether or not after they shut down with a protest. Sound familiar? Mob protest, shutting down, causing damage, shutting down the Capitol, taking it over, assaulting 3 people assaulting police officers. Let's see how many of them are in solitary confinement tonight. And let's see their court cases in a year and a half after they've got out of jail after a year and a half in solitary, and then see whether they're going to get 17 to 18 years in prison for planning, conspiring to have an insurrection at the Capitol. Clearly, they planned to get together. They said, hey, let's go protest the Capitol to result of these Jews and what they're doing over there. And so that clearly was a racist insurrection attempt to shut down America's government, and they assaulted police officers. Well, let's see what happens. I'm serious. What's the difference? I mean, literally, what is the difference?
Yeah, we had a precedent set. If they come in there and they do damage, and you shoot them in the neck until they're dead.
Yep. And if you assault a police officer during an insurrection attempt, that's Proud Boys got 18 years. And by the way, the government wants him to get 30. Did you read that? I saw the story this morning. I couldn't believe it. The Proud Boys, these guys, they got like between 12 and 18 years in prison for plotting the protest. Okay? They didn't kill anybody. They didn't rape anybody. I mean, 18 years in prison for plotting a protest seems a little severe since, the only person who died was an innocent woman shot by a murderous rogue cop. Anyway, so they got 18 years in prison, and they didn't even do anything. And in fact, I don't think they were even there. Any of them, I think, were even there. So let's just see whether the consequences are the same.
Well, the regime is sending a message to the Democrats. You will not have dissent against us. You will not show up here in Washington, D.C. ever. This is our land, not yours.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Here we go. So we're going to have to keep track of this because this is just ridiculous.
Well, there's 2 sets of justice in this country, one for the left and one for everybody else.
Yeah. No. Oh, God. I just, and I guess it's going to keep going, even though the proof is in there. The Jews did not bomb that hospital. It was the Hamas people themselves. 404. Oh, we got a phone call. God, the line. Did we still have him?
Yes, we do.
Okay, is it Steve?
Yep.
Steve, no, don't kills me. Steve is on the phone. Steve, thank you so much for holding. I'm so sorry. I got flabbergasted coming back here. What's going on, man? Welcome aboard.
Thanks. I was just thinking about wrestling when I was in 8th grade in Sandy Springs when Pete mentioned his story. We had a coach that was like a sadist or something, and we did wrestling for about 2 weeks, and then we did tumbling. But there was one other guy in the class and me. We were the 2 biggest, heaviest guys, so we always had to wrestle. And he weighed probably 210, and I was like about 160. So wow. He was slow, and I was fast, but he was so big, I couldn't get him down, and he couldn't get me down because I was too fast, and I was stronger than he was. So after we did this a couple of days, I said, listen, man, I said, we got to start faking this. I said, you win one day and I win tomorrow. And I said, this is BS. We're not doing this anymore. So we would like put a show on, you know, and do all this crap and stuff. And the coach was so dumb, he had no idea. And then we thought it was funny, and I'd say, okay, it's your turn today. And so I just thought that was funny what Pete said. But, God, that was awful. But one other thing.
Yeah.
Please, Pete, please, when you guys were talking about unpronounceable football player names, please, Pete, start playing that thing again where the guys come running out onto the field
introducing
and they say
themselves.
Their names and what school they're playing
Absolutely.
for. God, I love that.
Yeah, we do. Pete does every time we get it, like the beginning of football season and stuff like that. So we'll do it again. In fact, we'll do it again right now. You want to do it again right now? If you can find it, we'll play it.
God bless you.
Well, I'll tell you what, instead of a Flounder's funny, Flounder, can you find that? I bet you can find it. He's found it, and we will play it for you, Steve, coming up between now and 6.
You guys take care. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Talk to you. There you go. Well, that's by golly. It's just I feel like we've helped our community. We've done something to make someone happy.
And it's also on the actual program Monday night. I was watching the introductions where they introduced the players and let them introduce themselves. And one guy say, from the University of Western Pennsylvania or Southern Miss. One guy says, straight off the couch.
Yeah, I saw that. In fact, it was a big social hit about it. That was pretty funny. And once in a while, a guy will only do his high school because he doesn't like his alma mater, I guess, or whatever. And
he's just giving a shout out.
Just shout out to high school. And so they'll vary. And I think it's cool. I think it's fine. Do what you want.
In fact, one of them said North Cobb the other night, I remember.
Really? I'll be damned. Flounder, do we have that here? Or do you want to do it later? What's your pleasure? You want to do it here? Pete, what about you?
Alongside Jeff Worthing, and welcome to the annual East-West Bowl. As we get ready to watch some of the best college players in the nation showcase their skills in a classic showdown between East and West. And there really are some characters on this year's squads, aren't there, Jeff?
That's right, Dave. It does seem like the most flamboyant personalities came to the forefront, and they are here. Let's meet the players from the East.
Marcus Williams, University of Georgia.
TJ Jackson, Wayne State University.
Tavarius Smith-King, Merrimack College.
Kyle Royal, Smoochie Wallace, University of Miami.
Desquarius Green Jr., University of Notre Dame.
Ibrahim Moises, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga.
Jack Marius Tack-Theratrix, Michigan State University.
Isaiah T. Billings Clyde, Coastal Carolina University.
The Jasper Probencrux III, South Carolina State University.
Leoz Maxwell Jillian, East Carolina University.
Javaris and Lamar, University of Middle Tennessee.
Devoyne Showerhand, University of Southern Mississippi.
Hingle McCringleberry, Penn State University.
Le Carpetron Duke Marion, Florida Atlantic University.
Dinklage Morgoon, University of South Florida.
Xmas Jackson Flaxen Waxen, California, University of Pennsylvania.
We got booty on, but don't get no booty on. I love it. That's for you, Steve, and everybody who likes to be amused for a moment. 5:43 with the Pete and Flounder. Tommy Lee has appeared on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast, and he was talking about his past. The Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee confessed, I'm not making this up. He said, here we go. It's easiest to fall in love with the way it makes you feel, the way it makes you relax, and then all of a sudden you fall in love with alcohol. And he says, I'm like blank. I'm drinking 2 gallons of vodka a day. You're trying to kill yourself now. Your liver's on crutches at that point. It's barely functioning. 2 gallons a day. He says, no, I'm not talking about pints. I'm talking about the double-handled gallon, 2 gallons a day. I pinch myself on a daily basis. He went to the doctor after he says your liver's on crutches at that point. It's barely functioning. He was now sober. He was shocked when his doctor said he had a big checkup. His doctor says you're doing fine. He says, wait a minute. I pinch myself on a daily basis. Is, are you sure you're looking at the right results? adult. I did a full body scan. They go head to toe, everything. I can't believe smoking, drinking, all the blanking, dumb blank I've done. Dude, the doctor was like, oh, you're good. I said, are you sure? Let me see. Is that my name on there? That's blanking impossible. His fourth wife raised concerns about his dangerous habit. He said, I was drinking out of boredom. I wake up in vodka with eyedropper, a cranberry, or lemonade. I was drinking 2 gallons, not pints, not quarts, gallons. And he's now sober and can't believe he's not ready to die. Anyway, and what's his age? Doesn't have his age in here. He's got to have his age in here somewhere. Well, how could they not have his age in here doing a story about Tommy Lee all these years? What is that? Who wrote this? Anyway.
Siri says that he is, oh, God.
I can't believe it.
61 years old.
61. Thank you, Flounder. All right. It's 5:45 for the Kimmer Feed and Flounder, and we'll be right. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Look out. Here we go. Yeah, what did she say? Now you're talking the Beatles. This was the day 1964. She said so, taking a day off from their British tour. They went into the studio and completed the recording of 6 album tracks and the A-side of the next single, I Feel Fine. They also did 8 days a week. Kansas City, Hey, 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 Mr. Moonlight, I'll Follow the Sun, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, Rock and Roll Music, and Words of Love. Holy cow. And one day after in their studio, during their tour, take a day off, Beatles. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, I forgot a birthday, Pete, a sports birthday. Martina Navratilova, 67 today. One of the greatest tennis players of all time. And again, I had the opportunity to play against her in a charity tennis tournament, or an exhibition. It wasn't a tournament, it was an exhibition, and I returned her serve, which curved about 9 feet. By the way, man, it's unbelievable. Let's see, quick history note. 1976, the mafia boss of all bosses, Carlo Gambino, laid to rest in New York City among all those flowers. The character Don Vito Corleone by Marlon Brando, apparently based on him. Oh, and also on this day, talk about irony. And talk about politicians doing things just for the publicity. On this day in history, in 1976, October 18th, the California State Senate capped off a heady year for the Reverend Jim Jones, one that began with Jim Jones's designation as Humanitarian of the Year by the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner. They adopted a resolution on this day in 1976 commending Jim Jones and his People's Temple congregation for their exemplary display of diligent and devoted service to and concern for their fellow man, not only in this state and nation, but throughout the world. And 2 years later, the great humanitarian Jim Jones would oversee the mass murder-suicide of more than 900 of his followers in Jonestown, Guyana. Good going, California legislature. 5:53. Let's see. Oh, in case you just joined us, quick news thing. Horrible story, but at least it's over. Natalie Holloway's mother herself is actually on audio and video says it's over. He did it. It's the murder's case is solved of her daughter after 18 years after Natalie Holloway went missing on her trip with her friends to the beach in Aruba. Island of Aruba in 2005, and Vandersloot, the guy that we thought was guilty of it, we knew was guilty of it, finally has admitted it. He made a deal so that his prison sentence for admitting the murder of Natalie Holloway would run. Admitting for the extortion of Natalie Holloway's family would run concurrently with a murder conviction sentence down in Peru. Here's what happened very quickly. I don't want to spend the rest of the day on it. Vandersloot and Natalie were kissing at the beach again. She was with her friends. Went to a beach thing for a spring break. Kissing on the beach. He wanted to go further, and she refused. He insisted. She kicked him in the crotch. He stood up and kicked her extremely hard in the face and knocked her out. Then he grabbed a cinder block nearby and smashed her head in with it completely, unquote, carried her body into the water about knee deep, and pushed her out into the ocean to be carried away. The mother looked him in the eye and said, I don't know how you're going to make it. You look like hell. You're going to kill her, and I want you to remember that every time the jail door slams. Vandersloot himself said, I want to take this chance to apologize for my own family. I hope they provide some kind of closure. I'm no longer that person. I've given my heart to Jesus Christ. Well, 5 years to the day after he had murdered Natalie Holloway, he was arrested for the murder of a 21-year-old girl in Peru, a business student from a prominent family. She had apparently won the lottery, or won some lottery, some money at a casino, and he wanted it. They had a fight about it, and then she found out that he was the guy involved in that famous case from 5 years earlier, the Natalie Holloway. That was you. And he said, oh, you're calling me a murderer? So he murdered her and got 26 or 28 years in prison in Peru, and now the sentence for extorting the Holloway family is going to run concurrently. It ought to run after he gets out of that one, just for the record. Anyway, sorry. By the way, coming up, maybe tomorrow or Friday, I'm very upset about a new book coming out about Grace Kelly. Very upset. Also, I want to complain about the Fox News app. Pete's got a game for us. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, too, as well. But some good news. If you're a fan of sexy women and maybe for someone you love and want to have her dress sexy again, Victoria's Secret is prioritizing sexiness over wokeness, although they're going to try to do it both ways. Victoria's Secret has been promoting inclusivity, including making LGBTQ pro-women soccer player Megan Rapinoe as one of their brand spokesmodels and other tranny girls. Well, they got rid of the angels. Well, they're bringing them back. They lost so much money at Victoria's Secret, they said, well, this isn't freaking working, you idiots, like you didn't know that. They're bringing back the runway show format and the sexiness the brand was famous for with its more inclusive initiatives. They're still going to try to be inclusive and have it both ways, saying sexiness can be inclusive. We can celebrate diverse experiences. Oh, please. So they're going to try to be sexy again and still not offend anybody.
So they're going to bring sexy back.
Yeah, So they say. Actually, the sexiest thing, ladies, you put on my shirt and walk around with just my shirt on. You know?
There's something, and it's got to be like one of those business shirts.
Yeah,
like
a dress shirt.
Button-up dress shirt.
A button-up dress shirt.
Oh.
That's all you need. Barefoot. Yeah.
She wandered into the kitchen, and all she had on, and it was, at that point, it's almost see-through.
Well, it's over.
And it's basically chased her down the hall.
Yeah, well, you got to do that. I mean, you have to. Again, that's what a man would do with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And she'd be loving it. Well, how come she's the woman in charge of his own? So she loves it. She finally admitted she's ready to go start having fun again and stop holding back on everything, which is what led to a problem with her boyfriends, apparently. And finally, she said, screw this. I want to start having fun again. So she's acting like a girl, and he's acting like a guy, and they're giggling and having fun, and he's the man and controlling things, and she's loving it.
Are you a Swiftie?
No, not at all. I like
what I hear.
I like about it. Well, it doesn't take that much time. Yeah, if you're talking about clock time itself, that's a whole nother issue. I thought you were maybe like emotionally. It's a whole different story. In my head, it's like hours. Anyway, but still, it's just the relationship stuff, and I think it's cute and I think it's good. But I don't like her. I don't like where she stands, and I feel bad for her. How can she have a normal life in any way? Now, maybe she's going to finally want to have. Maybe she doesn't wants to have kids, and at some point just be a producer and stop performing and settle down. Well, I don't know. I have no idea.
She's achieved everything except maybe she hasn't really been a movie star or something, but she's done everything else.
Well, now wait a minute. Her movie's now a big hit. And by the way, her performance when she does her show, it's like 3 hours long.
I mean, playing a role or something.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But again, her movie now is probably #1 at the box office. It's being released, and people are signing all the way. I think it's already sold out before it's even released.
Speaking of movies, have you seen the trailer for Napoleon?
No.
It's like an old-time biblical epic, Hollywood epic. Ridley Scott's doing it. Joaquin Phoenix plays Napoleon, and it looks fantastic.
Ridley Scott is good.
I'm going to the theater to see this because this is one of those you see on the big screen.
Anybody we know in it? Famous?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, if you said it, I missed it. He's Napoleon? Yeah. Well, wow. I'll bet he'll be good at it. And is it whole the island of Alba and all the
It's basically his life. It's his life and the battles and everything. It's amazing looking.
I'll be damned. Well, it's pretty cool. Anyway, it's almost 6 o'clock. Boys, we do it all over again tomorrow. God bless America. Thank everybody for showing up here today. And hoorah, Semper Fi, I gotta go. You're killing me. Don't be afraid. I made a mistake. I said no to alcohol. The damn thing's not listening. So I'll see if they'll be back tomorrow. Hoorah, I gotta go. You're killing me. Look out. Hey, boys.
Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.